And this guy is on TikTok, and he was advertising this book, and I'm always looking for cool little children's books. So this is called A Pizza with Everything on It. And then we have Chubbs, a blind cat who learns to trust. And finally, and this came today, this is called Basil's Quest, a tale of dogged determination. And this is actually a little novel, so I probably won't get through all of it. Hello, Wendy. All right, so I think we are going to get started with Walter. This is called A Frenchy Adventure in Kindness and Muddy Paws. Looks better. Walter does his best. A Frenchy Adventure in Kindness and Muddy Paws. Hi there, I'm Walter. I live with my mom in New York City. I sleep, I eat, I really like treats. But exercise? For sure. I hate walks. I know people who think dogs like to walk. Well, I don't. Walter, plop, please try to be good. We got a lot to do today. A good dog is kind and helpful and obedient. That's what this page says. Oh, my biscuits. There's a good, kind, and helpful dog. And she gets to ride in a car. No walking. I bet that car's got treats. I bet that dog can see everything from in there. I want to ride in a car. I can be a good dog too. Good dogs help their neighbors. George's flower beds always need work, and I'm a gold digger. I can fertilize and I can water. And they're all yelling, Walter! Says, I'm a good dog. Look at me! I hear you, Kiara. Good dogs are kind to strangers. I like my comfy spot. But that guy needs a seat. Here you go, sir. Walter! I'm a good dog. Look at me. Good dogs are thoughtful. My friend Gabby is sad. I can fix that. Walter! I'm a good dog. Look at me. I've been such a good dog. I'm basically a super dog. It's time for a ride. Walter! But I'm a good dog. No? Thank you, Ms. M. Fine. I can be even better. Good dogs pitch in when others are in trouble. Watch out! Stop! Screech! Bam! Honk! Walter! I'm a good dog. Look at me. Look, Walter's helping the ducks cross the street. Though I don't think there's any ducks in New York City like this, but I don't know. Good dogs make people smile. My mom loves when I show off my tricks. Sit, stand, spin, woohoo, splash. Splitter, splatter, smash. Walter! I'm a good dog. Look at me. Good dogs encourage others. This poor actor, the crowd is giving him nothing. I will give him everything I've got. Walter! Shh! You two, out of here. First nerd. I was a good dog all day and no one even noticed. I encouraged, I helped, I pitched in when there was a need, I was thoughtful, I was kind, and now I'm tired. This is what I get after a long day of trying to be good. A bath. I hate baths. I hate having my nails clipped, and I keep that thing out of my ears. Grrr. Walter, come along. I have a surprise for you. Walter, you don't have to be perfect to be kind. You don't even have to get it right all the time. And even though you think no one notices, people do. Walter, I'm so glad I have you. Oh, my biscuits, look at me. I'm a good dog. This must be at Coney Island. So that is Walter, a Frenchie adventure in kindness and muddy paws. So next we're going to read A Pizza with Everything on It. Let me take this. Oh wow, this is cool. So the cover, when you take off the, it looks like a pizza box. Isn't that cool? All right. When your dad owns a pizza shop, you can have whatever kind of pizza you want. So when Dad asked what I was hungry for, I said, give me a pizza with everything on it. Dad said, everything? I said, everything. And look, there's a little kitty cat there. If that kitty cat only had 2 legs, I would insist that that was magic. Dad tossed the dough while I stirred the sauce. We put down 3 different kinds of cheese, then added a 4th, just to be safe. Cheddar, Swiss, mozzarella, and the mysterious 4th cheese. Yes, Savon would have loved this book. And actually, when I was thinking of Savon when I first ordered the book. We started with the basics: pepperoni, sausage, tomatoes, peppers, even little mushrooms that looked like noses. Hello, Norma. Dad said, perfect. But I said, no, Dad, I want a pizza with everything on it. Dad ran across the street and came back with his arms full of groceries. Pickles, ice cream cone, boiled eggs, apple, bag of chips, an entire turkey. All of it went on the pizza. Dad said, perfect. But I said, no, Dad, I want a pizza with everything everything on it. I wonder if that's going to include things like dirt. I don't know. I'm just... Dad got a little mischievous look in his eyes. I knew exactly what he was thinking. Everything, huh? Everything. In a flash, Dad threw his rolling pin onto the pizza, followed by his chef's hat. I put the blender on top as Dad added a table and chairs. Books, pencils, and a notebook fell onto the pizza. As I turned my backpack upside down, Dad said, "Perfect." But I said, "No, Dad, I want a pizza with everything on it." Dad said, "I think we're going to have to take this outside." Dad rolled the pizza into the street as I rode my bicycle up onto the toppings. Dad added a doghouse, then a tree house, then a real house, then the White House. But something was about to go terribly wrong. Perhaps it was the addition of the particle accelerator. Or perhaps the weight of the pizza simply became greater than what the crust could bear. Whatever it was bad. It was bad. Just as Dad was pushing the wheelbarrow full of penguins to the top of the pizza, there was a loud pop, then a crunch, then we started to fall. In the blink of an eye, the pizza began to collapse in on itself. Everything was speeding towards the center of the pizza. I grabbed Dad's hand. Dad grabbed the crust. We held on for dear life. Look at the kitty on the skateboard. "It's a pizza black hole," Dad shouted. "Everything is being sucked in." "Everything?" I yelled back. Dad gulped. "Everything." Dads are awfully strong, but black holes are stronger, especially pizza black holes. "I can't hang on anymore," Dad yelled. Together we flew into the swirling pizza vortex. Then everything went black. Huh? Is that Alma? And everything stayed black. Yes, that's a great black hole, Danish. As black as burnt pizza crust. Then, boom! A pizza Big Bang. The universe exploded in a burst of toppings. Everything was pizza. Dad and I were launched through a pizza galaxy and into our own pizza solar system. We flew towards a pizza Earth, into our pizza town. we landed back at our pizza shop. Or shall I say, our pizza shop. Dad looked at me. Perfect, he said, a little unsure. Thank you, Daisy. Appreciate that. Perfect. So that is the story of a pizza with everything on it. Like I said, a guy I know on TikTok, well, he doesn't know me, I just know him. He wrote it, and he was, kind of advertising it a little bit. And he said, he had a link on Amazon, and, I'm always looking for new books. All right. Yeah, Cat B, I was kind of thinking the same thing. And to tell you the truth, I am looking for a Philly-style pizza. The thin crust, a sauce that's not sweet. Here, they have a lot of Detroit-style pizza. It's like really thick crust, and I'm not I don't really like thick crusts. So, give me 1 second. Okay. Next book is called Chubbs. A Blind Cat Learns to Trust. Chubb's story begins the night Smooch disappeared. Friday evening after dinner, Smoochie loved to lounge on the neighbor's lawn. And every night before Grandma Sandy went to bed, she used her crazy cat voice to call Smooch home. Yeah, I do love thin crust pizza too, Daisy. But you know what? I think Connecticut's got better pizza than New York. I had to go to Connecticut a couple times, and their pizza there is just fantastic. Real thin crust, sometimes a brick oven, sometimes a wooden oven. Just really, really great stuff. But one summer night, Smoochie didn't come home. When the sun came up, Grandma looked around her house and knocked on her neighbor's doors, but Smoochie was nowhere to be found. So Grandma put on some old hip boots and stomped through the muddy citrus groves. As she searched, an idea popped in her head. What if someone has taken Smooch to the pound? Oh, yeah, you're not a fan of the Detroit-style kitties, Mom, huh? Yeah, I'm not a fan either. The Chicago style's okay, but, I really have to watch it when I eat pizza anyway, because it's just carb city, and my blood sugar just goes through the roof. Calzone, oh yeah. Walking up and down the aisles at the pound, Grandma looked hopefully into each cage. After 2 long hours and 1 heavy sigh, she knew Smoochie was truly lost. Maybe it was time for Grandma to find a new furry friend. She studied the cats again and narrowed her choice to 2 very different ones. A mangy alley cat with a magnificent cloud-like tail. That sounds like somebody I know. And a prissy Persian with fluffy white fur and perfectly groomed nails. Which cat would you pick? The Persian princess appeared to be the perfect choice. Yet Grandma Sandy's heart nudged her to adopt the mangy one. It didn't make sense, but there was something special about Mangy Cat, and Grandma always trusted her feelings. Have you ever had the feeling that you should do something that didn't make sense? So obviously, if this was Bella Bell here, she picked the Persian. I would assume. Look at the picture of the Persian that's in here. Look at that Persian. The next morning, the vet checked out Grandma's new cat. Dr. Jack said she had a fever and ear mites, and that she only weighed 6 pounds. He gave her a shot, but wasn't sure she'd get better. Over the next week, Mangy Cat slept on a giant pile of towels in the laundry room. Grandma stayed close and prayed that her sick cat would get better. Have you ever prayed for something? Grandma's prayer was answered. Mangy Cat grew strong enough to explore her new home. Inside, she found warm, sunlit nooks, perfect for napping. Outside, she found patches of rough gravel, perfect for scratching her back. The newly cut grass must have smelled like catnip because she loved to nestle in it. Mangy Cat grew round and healthy and transitioned into chubs. The short matted knots in her fur became a soft, beautiful coat. Petting her felt like stroking a bunny. Loud noises never bothered her. She came when she was called, and she was so chill that Grandma often teased Chubbs was really a dog stuck inside a cat's body. When 2 new kittens, Skid and Loverboy, moved in, Chubbs treated them like her babies. When Mama Chubbs put her big white paws around Skid's neck and licked her face and ears, she snuggled closer. One day, Grandma noticed that Chubb's left eye was red and weepy. It quickly turned milky blue. Dr. Jack found thick cataracts, a cloudy film that prevented her from seeing clearly. When the eye grew 3 times its normal size, it needed to be removed. Surgery frightened Grandma, but she loved Chubbs and wanted to do what was best for her, and she trusted Dr. Jack. When you're scared, what do? How does it feel if someone you trust helps you? The surgery went well. In no time, Chubbs strutted around as if she still had 2 eyes. Sounds a little like Pontia, huh? Years later, a blood clot got stuck in Chubb's good eye, and it also needed to be removed. The first surgery had gone so well that Grandma wasn't as worried. The night Chubbs came home, she woke up confused at 3 a.m., yowling like an angry alley cat. Grandma Sandy jumped out of bed, scooped up her frightened cat, and held her close, softly humming and whispering, "I got you, I got you, I got you," until Chubbs relaxed and fell asleep. Losing both eyes turned Chubb's world dark and small. She no longer explored the house rolled in the gravel, smelled the grass, or scouted birds. She cried all the time and stayed close to Grandma. Without her eyes, Chubbs had to learn to listen carefully. Familiar sounds, potato chips crunching, a soda can opening, someone talking, coughing, sneezing, or laughing, signaled that Grandma was nearby. Once Chubbs figured out where the sounds came from, she'd waddle towards them. When she bumped into Grandma's feet, Chubbs perched her big self on top of them like a hen sitting on a nest. Chubb's whiskers grew longer than usual, and she used them the way a blind person uses a cane. Slowly, she started exploring the house like her old confident self, using her instincts to avoid walls and furniture as if she had a built-in GPS. Animals trust their instincts to survive. For instance, a cheetah can't always see other animals around her, but she knows they're there. Sometimes we call instincts feelings. Unlike animals who always listen to their instincts, we often ignore our feelings because they don't make sense or seem silly or unimportant. Rather than ignoring the ideas that come to your mind or the feelings that come to your heart, what else can you do? One day after breakfast, Chubbs headed from the kitchen to her bed. Something she had done 100 times before. But this time she circled round and round and round before turning towards the dining table where Loverboy crouched quietly in the dark, waiting for her to enter his lair. Loverboy's fur blended into the earthy colors of the rug, but his amber eyes glowed like a campfire in the woods and gave away his hiding place to Grandma. She knew that by the time Chubbs walked into her brother's ambush, it would be too late. Grandma quickly called to Chubbs and made kissy noises, but she continued to creep toward Loverboy. Growing more worried, Grandma began to snap. Snap, snap, snap. This time, Chubbs listened. She followed the snapping all the way to her bed. Instead of snatching her up and carrying her away, Grandma waited to give Chubbs a chance to listen and follow the familiar sounds that signaled safety. God could snatch us up and remove us from danger or difficulty, but He gives us the chance to hear and follow His voice. In a way, Grandma was Chubbs' lifeguard. She saw danger when Chubbs couldn't. Most lifeguards sit in tall chairs and have a clear view of those who need help, or those doing things that could put themselves or others in danger. Would you like to have a lifeguard looking out for you? Just as Grandma was Chubbs' lifeguard, God is our lifeguard. He watches over us, notices things sooner than we do, and recognizes danger when we don't. Chubbs couldn't see Grandma, and we can't see him. But like Grandma stayed too close to Chubbs, God's Spirit stays close to us, even when we don't know it. Chubbs spent her last years in complete darkness, bravely trusting her instincts and Grandma Sandy to protect her. We won't always be able to see, control, or change what happens in our lives. Sometimes we won't know which way to go or what to do. He puts in our hearts we can make choices that will help us live more courageously, just like Chubbs. And then they have a picture of the bodyguard at the end. So this book was written in 2020. The back of it, a mangy alley cat isn't at the top of anybody's adoption list. Nevertheless, when Grandma Sandy scoops it up into her arms, her heart nudges her to take it home, and she listens. Grandma always trusts her feelings. Hi, Susie. Lots of tender care soon transforms the mangy cat into beautiful round Chubbs. But when she loses her sight, will she listen to her feelings like Grandma and learn to trust the one who loves her the most? All right. We got one more book, and I just got this in the mail today. And this is an interesting, sometimes I will go to Kickstarter and look at some children's books, and I always find that a lot of these true stories that people write on and try to get funding on Kickstarter are some of the best books. So this one is the first of my Kickstarter books that have come. And this is really a book. It's not, it's not really a children's book. It's called Basil's Quest, a tale of dogged determination. And it starts with a quote that says, "Dogs do speak, but only to those who know how to listen." And that's from Orem Pamuk, the recipient of the 2006 Nobel Prize in Literature. Chapter 1. I often escape my yard and wander around the neighborhood, hoping that a kind person will find me and adopt me into their family. I long for a new life, a life where I won't live with mean dogs that constantly bully me and steal my food. A life where I sleep on my owner's cozy bed. A good life where I can love fully and feel loved in return. But every time I escape, my neighbors always find me and bring me back. This time I'm scared and shivering in the pouring rain, further than I ever been from my house, in any house I recognize. The boisterous thunder scares me. I keep my tail tucked down tightly under my body. Sheets of water strike my face and I can barely see. I think I hear my name, but no. That's highly unlikely. After all, no one is out looking for me. I'm sure of it. No one. Hi, Craig. I hear my name again. But this time, I know it's for real because when I squint through my wet and heavy eyelids, I see Jolie standing by her car. The back door is swung wide open. "Basil! Here, boy! Basil! Basil!" she yells. I dash to Jolie's back seat and jump in. "Oh, Basil, you're so far from home, you poor baby. Oh my gosh, you're drenched." "Thank you, Stacy." I shake every inch of my body from head to tail. My black hair splatters water all over Jolie's car. "Oops. Oh, sweetheart, you poor thing." Jolie gets out of her car, opens the trunk, and returns with a huge, fluffy beach towel. She leans into the back seat and covers me with a nice dry towel, rubbing and patting me down. Then she wipes the splatters off all the doors and windows. "There you go, sweetie. That should make you feel better." Jolie drives us home, which is just around the corner from where I live. Notice I say where I live. I don't call it home. It's never felt like a home to me. A home is where you are loved and cared for. We park in her driveway. She keeps the engine running with her heater on full blast, aimed in my direction. Taking her cell phone from her purse, Jolie calls my owner. The fierce rain pounds the roof of the car. She shouts, "Trish, this is Jolie. Jolie! I've got Basil in my car. I was driving home and I spotted him 6 blocks away this time. He's lucky he didn't get hit by a car in this storm." Jolie listens for what feels like a long time. I'm really good at reading body language. The look on her face says this conversation isn't going well. The Humane Association doesn't come get animals. They don't do that. They only take in dogs by appointment, and you have to bring them there. Another long pause. Jenny was asking about the cat with the girl's name. Jackie said it was a boy. That was Junebug, now adopted. Okay, I didn't know that, Nina, because we thought that yeah, we thought that Magic was a boy, was a girl at first. So kind of, you know. Another look. Well, if you're thinking of finding Basil a new home, would you be willing to surrender him to me? I'll find someone to foster him, and I'll work on finding him a permanent home. This time a shorter pause. Okay, Trish. Yes, I understand. Sometimes dogs just don't get along. I'm sorry it's caused so much stress since you moved back home with Victor. Thank you for letting me help. You know, I only want the best for Basil. I promise I will find him a good home. Jolie hangs up and turns to me. Basil, you're such an awesome dog. If we didn't already have 2 dogs, I would keep you myself. Jolie makes another call. Hello, Hannah? Hey, it's Jolie. Listen, I hate to ask this, but I really need a favor. I found my neighbor's dog when I was driving home from work just now. Now, I found him at least a half a dozen times over the past 2 years and always brought him home. But this time his owner said she was going to tie him to a tree because she's tired of him escaping, and she'd bring him to the Humane Association in the morning. I couldn't bear the thought of him being tied up outside, especially without shelter. You know how these spring storms can easily turn into tornadoes, so I persuaded her to surrender the dog to me. Now I need to find someone to foster him. I know I'm asking a lot, but would you be willing to take him in, even if it's just for the night? I would be so incredibly grateful. This time a very short pause. Well, I'm not really sure what he is. Maybe a black lab? He's super sweet. Can I bring him by so you can meet him? Jolie sounds quite desperate and convincing. Thank you, Hannah. You're the best. Yes, this is a really cute book. I'll be there in 20. With a big smile on her face, Jolie says, Basil, I'm so excited. Hannah loves dogs so much that she owns a doggy daycare center. She's staying late just so she can meet you. Jolie drives through rainy East Nashville streets while giving me the scoop about Hannah and Hannah's Haven, her doggy daycare center. Jolie recently got a part-time job there. How lucky those dogs must be to get so much time with Jolie. Whoa! The crack of more thunder startles me. I lower my head, my ears tucked back to block the noise. Jolie sees my reaction in her rearview mirror and starts singing a little tune. Hey, you're okay, you'll be fine, just breathe. Jolie keeps her left hand on the steering wheel and reaches into the back seat to rub my ear. She sings the song over and over and my anxiety melts away. I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to get another, well, I guess they call it pop here. And then I'm going to just stretch my legs. Hello, Sparrow. Ooh, I see some KMR in there, but I'm not that thirsty. There's Tycho. There's a buff little kitty there. Hi. Hi there. I see there's some kitten wrestling going on. Yeah, I haven't seen Magic today. Not Magic, Rachel. Hi. Hi, Bijou. Bonjour. tiny one too. You're a tiny one. Look at this. And here's Tycho. Tycho? 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 I don't know. Yeah, Sparrow's funny. Look at that. Oh, it's a good guy. So we're... Hi! How you doing? What are you doing? Tycho. Tycho. Okay, Tycho. Can you say you like the French? So Tycho. Yeah. And you know, these buff kitties, they seem to be really, really sweet. You know, just about every buff kitty that's been here. And you guys remember Dune? I bought Dune here. And he was sweet. He was really, really sweet. His brother, who looked just like Dune. Oh, this. Say the letter you like. The French does it. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Hmm? You're sweet. Sorry, but I gotta get your ID too. I'm sorry. That's part of my job. It's part of my job. Ah. The letter U, like the French pronounce the letter U. Tycho. I have no idea how the French pronounce it. No, I don't. No, I actually don't know Danish. I'm not cultured. This little one is purring up a storm. I have to resume the book, but you're purring. You know what? I see a little popcorn. Maybe you could go play with popcorn. So it is Tycho. Tycho. Oh my God, look at what he's doing now. He's licking my hand. How am I supposed to put this cat down? How? Oh my God. What a sweet little one. I'm such a sweet one. Oh. Look at this. It's like, get away from me. I rule the roost here. Oh my God. Are you guys watching this? Yeah, I could do that. You know, I could be like Catapractor, just call them all Butch. Look at this. You know, Miles. Good night. Every now and then, Miles will jump up on the cat tower, and Guinness will be up the top, and Guinness will come down and smack him like, this is my territory. That is awful nice of you, guy. That is awful nice of you. It's awful nice of you. I really appreciate that. I got a book to read, though. We're reading Basil's Quest. All right. I really hate to do this, but I gotta put you down. All right? I gotta put you down. I don't know if you can. Hi, popcorn. This is Tycho. Tycho, popcorn. Do you want to shake paws? Hmm? All right, I'm going to put you down on the floor because I don't know if you can climb or if you can. I know that. No. All right, this is probably not going to be good for my when I go to sleep tonight, but yes, it's another Mountain Dew Zero, my second one of the night. All right, we're up to chapter 2. I remember the first time I met Jolie. It was an early, crisp spring morning 2 years ago. I remember it well because it was my first adventure when I was finally brave enough to sneak out of my yard. You see, oh, hello, Merrick. How are you? I remember it well because it was my first adventure when I was finally brave enough to sneak out of my yard. You see, part of the wooden fence on the far side of the yard had rotted out planks at the bottom. I discovered there was just enough room for me to squeeze out. This was my secret passage. Are you from Estonia, Marek? I walked the whole block, taking my time to enjoy all the heavenly new scents of flowers and grass, and came upon Jolie watering her roses in the front yard. Her dogs wagged their tails at me from behind the driveway gate. Jolie looked up from her roses. Hey, buddy, where'd you come from? I've never seen you before. You look a little thin. Are you hungry? Yeah, I thought so. Wait, right here. I loved how gentle she was, so I did as I was told. She turned off the hose and went inside her house. She came back carrying a pie tin of kibble and put it on the ground in front of me. Jolie took a few steps back. In a soft, reassuring voice, she said, "It's okay. It's for you." I'd never taken food from a stranger before, but that didn't stop me from scarfing it down. So how are we going to figure out where you live if you don't have a tag on your collar? Jolie's friend Celine walked by us. Hey, Celine, why are you walking down the street with a leash in your hand and no dog? I just dropped off Tink at my mom's house for a play date with her dog. I meant to leave the leash, but I walked out with it in my hand. I didn't feel like walking back. Hey, who's this? I don't know, but he's friendly. How would you like to take him home and I'll work on finding his owner? It's only fair. I have 2 dogs and you only have 1. I know it's my turn to foster, but Sam and I are leaving on vacation this weekend. I definitely can't take him because my dogs will go crazy if I bring another dog into the house. If you can't help, then I'll bring him to Metro Animal Care and Control and cross my fingers that his owners will reach out to Metro Animal Care to find him. They'll take great care of him, but it's a scary place for a stray with all those barking and cages. Well, I suppose I could take him today, but if we don't find his owner by the time we leave, then I'll need to hand him off to you. Well, that will at least buy us a couple of days to find his owner. I'll reach out on social media, and I'll also call Mac to let them know we found a stray, just in case somebody calls and describes him. In fact, I think they have a form that can be filled out online for that. They joked about how they always tag team whenever they found a stray. Celine said, I'll take him to the vet and have them scan for a microchip. That sure makes finding owners easier. Besides, if we need to bring him to the animal shelter, their first priority is always to reunite animals with their owner if there's a chip with the contact info. I will let you know what I find out. Celine hooked the leash to my collar, and I walked with her up the alley. We reached the backyard leading to her house and climbed the steps to a big wooden deck. She opened up her back door, and I gladly followed her inside. My nose got excited from all of the new scents. Celine fluffed up a large round dog bed perched in the corner of the kitchen. She patted the bed a couple of times while she looked at me. Here you go. Tink won't mind if you use her bed. Celine called Sam and left a message on his voicemail. Hey, it's me. Just a heads up. Jolie found a loose dog with a collar and no tag. We're fostering him until we leave for vacation. Hopefully it won't take long to find his owner. Okay, love you. See you soon. She put her phone down on the kitchen table and started preparing dinner. Boy, did that kitchen smell delicious. Like food that humans eat. The porch screen opened and clicked shut, and Sam, a tall, thin man, walked in. Hi, sweetheart. I got your message when I was a couple blocks away. Sam knelt down and stroked my back. I think I've seen this dog before over on Porter Road. You know that house with the white picket fence? Let's walk him over there. Celine turned off the stove. Sam clicked Tink's leash to my collar, and they walked me back to Victor's house. After a lot of persistent and loud knocking, Victor finally answered the door. When Sam asked if I was his dog, he brusquely answered, He's my daughter's dog. Put him in the yard. Then, without another word, Victor slammed the front door shut. All right, we're going to start chapter 3. See how long chapters. All right, so it's only a few pages. That's all right, Marek. You're actually doing really well on your English. Now, we're glad you're here. Let me ask you, Marek, what time is it where you are? It is 8:20 p.m. here on the east coast of the United States. All right, the lightning and thunder jar me out of my memories as Jolie pulls into a parking space in front of a large brick building. She takes her phone from her purse and sends a text. A minute later, Hannah comes out to the car holding a large white umbrella with pictures of dogs on it. And guys, I do want to tell you, English is a very tough language to learn. And I think you guys do such a great job in your communication. So don't ever worry. Don't ever apologize for your English. You know, this book is called Basil's Quest. And I will see if I can post some information onto the chatters page of Facebook. So about this information. 3:15. Wow. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Wow, that's 7 hours difference. Wow. Isn't it great though? Here we are, you know, we're separated by a computer, but really we're all around the world. You know, probably at 3 o'clock. The folks from Australia will start tuning into FFRC because, you know, I just think it's great. This is why we call it FFRC Nation. Hannah looks confused as she slowly studies me through the car window. It's only open a few inches because of the rain. I don't know, Jolie. His face is kind of weird looking. Could be stress. He's been living outside 24/7 for over 2 years. He's probably never been in a car, so maybe what you're saying is that he's just scared. Hello, Andrew. And 1:20 a.m. in the UK. Yep. probably never been in a car, so maybe what you're seeing is that he's just scared. Besides, who wouldn't be scared in this crazy storm? Korea, huh? Korea, wow, that's awesome. Trust me, I know this dog really well, and he is a sweetheart. Well, why don't you bring him inside and let me have a better look? Jolie leads me out of her car to the inside of Hannah's haven. The loud ringing from a strand of bells hanging in the inside doorknob startles me. So I step back behind Jolie. I've never seen a place quite like this. In fact, before today, I didn't even know it existed. The front room has a wooden bench, a big potted tree-like plant, and a large metal dog bowl with fresh water. The bright overhead lights and sunny yellow walls are a stark contrast to the rainy gray sky outside. Hannah crouches down, avoiding eye contact with me. I walk up to her to get a good whiff. She smells like so many different kinds of dogs, but mostly a poodle. Hannah, I know I'm asking a lot, but if you foster him, I promise I'll do everything I can to find him a good home. You have my word. Hannah sighs. It's going to take some work since it's always harder to place a black dog in a home. For some reason, people are just more attracted to other colors. That's why shelters usually have more black dogs than anything else. Since my last foster was just adopted, I guess it won't be too much trouble to take him in, but on two conditions. We're all out of kibble, and I don't believe in feeding fosters any less quality of food than I feed my own dogs. So how about if I write a check and you go to the pet store down the street and get him kibble before they close? Then when you get back, you can give him a much needed bath. Thank you, Hannah. You won't be sorry. After Jolie leaves, Hannah crouches down in front of me, and in the softest voice, she assures me, "It's okay, Basil. You're safe now. We won't let anything bad happen to you." I hang out with Hannah in her office. Hannah sits behind a big wooden desk. I look up at her munching on chocolate-covered almonds. Thank you, Aunt Power. She drops one on the floor and I go for it. Sorry, Basil, chocolate is not good for dogs. Isn't it wonderful, Gail? It is absolutely, I love, I love seeing different folks from around the world, their cultures, their mannerisms. I just love it. And, I always think that the more different types of people you're exposed to, I think you yourself become a more rounded person. That's what I always believed. Sorry, Basil, chocolate isn't good for dogs, but here, I have a dog biscuit you might like. She returns to her laptop, scrolling through pictures she's taken of clients' dogs, as she twirls her curly blonde hair around her finger. No, I don't speak any German, which is interesting because I have a little bit of German in me and a little bit of Pennsylvania Dutch. So, I took Spanish in high school, but I was not good at it. I couldn't roll my R's. So, we'd have to say all these things in Spanish. Este mi amigo Ramon. And I couldn't roll my R's. Oh, I won't. I will, Craig, thank you. Like, este mi amigo Ramon. This is how I rolled my R's. Because I couldn't roll my R's. So, I hang out with Hannah in her office. Hannah sits behind a big wooden desk. I look up at her munching on chocolate-covered almonds. She drops one to the floor, and I go for it. Pennsylvania Dutch is actually Deutsch, so it's kind of like another version of German. She returns to her laptop, scrolling through pictures she's taken of clients' dogs as she twirls her curly blonde hair around her finger. She notices me staring up at her. Feel free to explore, Basil. There's nothing you can't touch in my office. I do love to explore. The large plastic dog crate in the front center of the room grabs my attention. There's a big white poodle inside. I was right. I did catch the scent of poodle on Hannah. The poodle doesn't seem at all concerned that I'm here. That's my dog, Chelsea. You don't have to worry about her. She's quite happy just hanging out in her crate while I work. Next, an area directly across the room from Hannah's desk arouses my interest. I start sniffing a large, round, shaggy rug. Hannah looks up. That's where my daughter, Ivy, plays when she comes to work with me. It's fine to sniff, but don't chew anything, okay? Got it, Hannah. There's a futon against the wall with bright pink and purple pillows decorating it and a variety of stuffed animals, all neatly lined up against the pillows. I spend a long time taking in the smells that linger from where an Ivy was here last. After I have my fill of scents, I lay on the floor by Hannah's desk and wait for Jolie to return. I picture Jolie singing the chill out song to me. Hey, you're okay. You'll be fine. Just breathe. So I think we're going to end it there. And we will, I don't even know if we can finish this book next week because it's a pretty big book. Is it like 178 pages? It's not 178, but it's over 100 pages. So we will continue that book. It's a very, very cute book. Thank you, Cat B, and thank you, everybody, for joining today. So we will be back next week. So to our friends who have joined us today for the first time, we do this every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you, everybody, and I will see everybody next week. Hopefully, it's not raining. Thank you, Tina. Oh, look at this. Carly and Alma. Isn't that cute? Oh, look at that. And then we got popcorn. Oh. I hear growling.